Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about Unit 2, Stereotypes. The term stereotype is derived from the Greek words that mean solid and impression. So stereotype roughly means a solid impression a person forms about a group of people or certain ways of doing things that he or she does not know very well or doesn't have the time or interest to understand more about. In other words, stereotypes simplify and justify reality around us. So they have potentially powerful effects on how we perceive and treat one another. Furthermore, once these impressions are formed, it is very difficult for people to change, though these impressions may or may not accurately reflect reality. For example, from North American movies, we tend to have a firm impression that all American police officers eat donuts and drink coffee for breakfast. In the following, we will introduce some common categories of stereotypes and their examples. 1. Gender. Many people hold certain expectations toward certain behaviors of men and/or women. For example, boys like to play with Transformers, while girls play with Barbie dolls. Girls are emotional, while boys are tough. 2. Profession. Certain professions are stereotypically or traditionally for men or women. For example, firefighters for men, kindergarten teachers for women, secretaries for women, and plumbers for men. 3. Sexual orientation. When we say gays are sissies, or all fashion designers are gay, we are using stereotypes of this category. 4. Ethnic group and geographical areas. This is very commonly heard in every society when people make comments about others who are not from their areas or who belong to a different race. Some examples include Japanese are too polite, Hakka people are very stingy, or people who live in the Bronx, New York are poor. 5. Age. This has a lot to do with how people judge others from different generations. Comments like, old people are very stubborn, or kids are all computer game addicts, are a few examples of this type. 6. Religion. After ISIS attacked, the fact that many Muslims around the world were treated or investigated as terrorists would be a good example of this category. But if stereotypes are usually negative and fail to reflect reality accurately, why do people usually tend to put labels on others? One of the possible answers is convenience. Let's take Hofstede's individualism versus collectivism as an example. When a person from an individualistic culture puts his or her personal interest ahead of his or her family wishes, that person can be labeled as selfish by people from a collectivistic culture. And later, this impression might be overgeneralized into all people from individualistic cultures are selfish because they only think about what they want and never care about others. This overgeneralization makes it a lot easier and more convenient for people from a collectivistic culture to judge or evaluate people from an individualistic culture. certainly easier than trying hard to understand the rationale behind their choices. However, is stereotyping others really that bad? Actually, no. It is because stereotypes can be efficient shortcuts and sense-making tools. When people travel to novel lands or meet people from other cultures, stereotypical impressions they have about the new places and people could help to lower their anxiety and may even help them to behave properly. For example, with some stereotypical impressions in mind, a European would not kiss a Japanese woman on the cheeks when they greet each other for the first time. What we really need to remember is that stereotyping is often useful when people encounter a new environment, but it would do more harm than good for people if they continually reinforce the stereotypical impression instead of trying to observe the new culture with an open mind.